Nancy. Oh, you're not very good about being on TV, are you? All right, guys, we're back here. Welcome to the channel. Looks like we don't have very many people here yet, probably because it's a different night than normal. All right, Fab Garage, how are ya? We got dogs tonight. How is VTEC 93 G6? Yo! All right, Carter's here with us somewhere too. He's
in the bathroom.
Yeah, utilizing the facilities. Brian Hasty will be here shortly to join us as well. We have Delilah the crazy one and Stormy the wild one.
Full house.
We have a full house. Well, anyway.
Sending her facts.
Roderick Stubbs. Oh no, don't bark at yourselves.
Oh,
We have their pictures on TV, so they may think it's other dogs, and we might have to do something about that. No bark, okay? Just sit down and relax, okay? Obviously.
Clayton, hello.
Clayton,
Long
how are
time no
ya?
see, stranger.
Yeah. That is a CRV table. We have a couple of them. We grab them out of the salvage yard whenever we see them. And these are different salsas because we had tacos tonight. Stormy did not, Delilah did not, they had bones. But anyway. So we're here to answer your questions. It's been crazy and I'm getting old. Oh yeah. Clayton, how? I hope you're rebuilding. That's all I can say. I might be out there for West Michigan Honda meet. Of course, that's not Ohio, that's Michigan. But if I can get over there, I might. We need to play.
Of course.
Go get it.
We pulled the table closer, so that might help.
Yeah. You didn't knock it over. But we're going to be hopefully heading out for the West Michigan Honda meet, and if I get a chance, I'll drive out to Cleveland and see what's going on out there. Cleveland, Columbus, wherever Honda is out there, and you guys. And then, how's the wide body CRX coming? So, it is just sitting there right now. I have to do some wiring. I inherited a aftermarket wiring harness for it, like tuck wiring harness for it, and I hate those things. So I'm redesigning it. So this was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. So we'll is an L15 turbo. So anyway, we're working on it. L15 turbo swap and an EK legal in California. You can make it legal in California. You have to, West Michigan Honda meet is, sorry, you can make an L15 turbo swap in an EK legal in California. What happens is you wind up having to put some of the emissions control devices on there. The way the gas tank works is different. So you, the one person that has gotten an Integra through used vent shut valve, fuel tank pressure sensor, and other parts from CRZ, which is what Honda did, and then they were able to take it to a ref to get it through. It would be nice if we could figure out a kit that had all the parts you needed in order to make it work. We are working on that. We do have an L15 swap EK here that we're working on, so hopefully we can get that all sorted out and perhaps even apply for an EO number, a CARB EO number. That would be nice. Okay, West Michigan Honda meet is the second weekend in July. They haven't started promoting it yet. I've got a really busy July. I'm supposed to go. There's maybe a trip to Germany. I don't know if you guys know who Misha. I think it's pronounced Chodron. He's drives people's cars at Nürburgring. I may be going out to check him out and also to do the MIMS Honda meet that's at Nürburgring. Then there is, so check this out. We are applying for a position at the Red Bull Soapbox Derby that's being held in LA the weekend before that. And that would be the weekend after the West Michigan Honda meet. So we won't know for a few weeks whether or not we get accepted to that, but we're gonna try and build a half-scale Honda to use as a Soapbox Derby car. That should be kind of cool. Should be interesting. Have I considered doing an all-wheel drive L15? Yes. As a matter of fact, there's a manual 6-speed L15 transmission available in Europe. So I have done that. Yes, Misha is building an EG, Civic Race Car. That's the reason I would be going out there, is to hopefully lend him a little hand with that. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm in the process right now of nailing down the dates and getting the tickets. So, yeah, one of his best videos is 2 Hondas chasing each other. I think it had 1.5 million views or something like that. Should be pretty fun. TSX Auto and Manual, kit released. You can now buy did we put that up on the website? The bracket and the...
Yes, the clutch bracket.
We have the mounts. They should be on the website. And there's a pattern kit you get that you bolt to where your brake master is, and it tells where to drill the other holes for the slave cylinder, I mean the master cylinder for the clutch. And then you can just bolt, normal Accord, TSX, TL, brake pedal and clutch pedal in there. And then do a manual swap. And we have mounts to do that. You can even do, if you wanted to, take a TSX Auto and do a TL manual swap. We have the mounts for that as well. So you could do a 3.5, 3.2 V6 in there. So those mounts are available as well. All right.
Anubis, we're in Phoenix, Arizona.
So that's a good, so Clayton, that's very generous of you. That would be awesome. That would be very, very interesting. I would love to build an EF sedan. I think that would be a blast. So obviously, have you seen pictures of his sedan? I saw him a while ago, but I don't know what they look like.
They're not.
No. Obviously the back end got crushed.
Yeah.
What?
Say Clayton, I haven't been on live.
I know.
Yeah, you're a little late to the party.
Sorry, I did. Hi, Clayton. Yeah. I think we're all too far away from the
Should I
mics.
go K-Series or
that's fine.
H22 Let me tell you the difference between those two swaps. The K-Series makes more horsepower, period. It just does. The problem with an H22, the intake manifold is so large, you have to put some dents in the firewall in order to get it in there. The K-Series is very, very tall. K24, you want an SIR style hood. K20, you can just mount it below the stock hood, or if you get an SIR style hood, you can mount it up a little bit higher. Both those engines are very tall, so both of them have a little bit of problem with ground clearance. But neither one of those makes that car really fast. What are great budget K-swap headers for EG Civic? Well, honestly, some of the best ones are the ones made by K2. Their budget K-swap header. It makes really good horsepower. And the price is reasonable. I haven't tried any of the copy headers that people make, which are also inexpensive. But those are but I've done K2 and DC Sports and Skunk, and they all make very similar horsepower. I just think the K2s were slightly better priced. says, I have an 09 manual TSX, always thinking about installing a J. Yeah, I haven't done one on the 09 body. That's a little bit newer. That would be interesting too.
Didn't
I
they
haven't made mounts for that.
wasn't there a J option in those?
There was, so you could probably stock mounts. It's interesting though, you'd have to see, I would imagine the chassis is the same, it would just require the subframe of the mounts.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Maybe I'm wrong about years. I don't
Yeah.
know if maybe 09.
No, that is. 09, well, that generation definitely had a J option.
Yeah.
The station wagon came 4-cylinder only, but the other one came J or K24. So either one of those. Yeah.
Do you see Steve's comment? Steve Keenan?
Who? Steve. Just opening my custom signature series tax CRV mounts.
TSA.
Oh, nice.
Those are the ones that we did.
Isn't that great? I
The
really-
EFK.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out how to etch my signature on there, but I thought it turned out really good.
Yeah, it did. It looked
Yeah.
good. That was a new one. I don't think we were.
So,
we've asked
so
that
for
before.
those who don't know, Steve asked for autograph mounts, and we tried to figure out how to make it more or less permanent on the aluminum mounts. And we found a paste that we could paint on, and then use a laser to go in and it kind of burns the paste onto the mount, so that's how it winds up getting etched. Because aluminum is real reflective, so it doesn't like to. You have to use a super strong laser in order to
Yeah.
etch it in there, and we didn't want to do that, so we found another solution. It turned out very nice.
We also didn't have access to one around
Yeah,
here.
we had to use some friends,
True,
so.
Yeah. But anyway, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Glad he likes it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so go back up to the top a little bit. Can you scroll up? There's a conversation there I missed. That's fine right there. Build the EF sedan with a Honda V8 motor engine. We were looking at those, and because they sit on their end, I'm not sure how. Hey, no bark.
Sorry, headphone warning. Give us a second.
Yeah. Hey, bark.
Hey,
Hey, no, cut it out.
Hey, Delilah, come here.
Delilah. All right, have a seat,
How
Delilah.
many years have I known this dog?
Not
Too
enough,
many.
apparently. She barks at me every time I walk in the house.
Really? Watch out.
Hey, cut it out.
Watch out.
And Stormy, you be quiet too.
Watch out. Okay.
Clayton just sent me photos of his car.
All right.
Oh, I think that
Sorry,
was out.
Mokos.
You need to go find your bone. I think Delilah took both of them. She's
No, I
wearing
took it because she's like chewing right in the mic,
Oh, okay.
and some people were saying that it's a bit loud, so.
Oh, okay. Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, it was dogs were a mistake. We're not gonna do that again.
Yeah. Won't do that one again. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
Hey.
Stormy, cut it out. All right.
So the others.
So, yeah, the V8, I was looking at that. It's designed also to run at steady RPM, so I'm not certain that it would be a particularly good, effective motor without a lot of development. So,
With the boat engine.
yeah, they had the V8
Yeah.
boat engines there. So yeah, believe me, I'm ahead of you. So, I would love to do a Goldwing into an S600. That would be the car I would choose for that.
How do you do that? How would you do that then?
Well, it's a longitudinal motor with drive shaft. It's got a drive shaft.
They do?
Yeah,
Oh, which one?
Goldwing motors. The
No, the
GL 1000 GL. An S600. The little sports car. The one that looks like a midget, an MG, or a Spitfire.
The S600.
Yeah,
It's a rear-wheel drive?
the rear-wheel drive.
Is that
Yeah.
the one that had the chain rear-wheel drive?
That's the one that had chain rear-wheel drive.
Okay.
It has like a differential,
Yeah.
splits,
Yeah.
two small sprockets.
You're right. Okay.
It's kind of an interesting concept. So yeah, I thought that would be cool.
Oh, Speaking of animals, you didn't let the cat out, did you?
No, I said he almost got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the office there's also cats, so it's
You didn't
a
let
bit
it
of
out
a zoo
this way,
here.
let it out that way. No.
Big enough I could catch it now.
Yeah.
Oh, we caught him the first time we catch him. Yeah.
Oh,
That was the stray from around here.
yeah. It was like this big.
He was pretty
was
tiny.
tiny, yeah.
On your hand.
5 months
I was
old.
like-
Now he's a dick
Six.
too.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Really?
Oh yeah, he brought every morning. He goes around everybody's office and hits them.
Tells him to get to work, you know, it's his little
Yeah.
routine.
But by the way, the reason these dogs are here is my wife is on vacation, so,
Again?
again, yeah,
Again.
she likes vacation.
She's same place?
Michigan,
Yeah,
yep.
Michigan.
By the lake.
By the lake,
She goes down and sits on the dock or whatever she does.
that's right.
Yeah.
Gets in the paddle boat,
Gets in a paddle boat.
eats perch,
Right.
Oh, there's the cat.
And there's the cat.
and now the cat's up.
There he is.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this might be.
Right.
That might
I'm
be-
not even,
Hey.
I'm not even paying attention to you. Why are you growling at me?
If you wanna come around this way,
Clayton,
Silly.
she'd love a visit from you, I'm sure.
What?
hey, no, no,
Hey,
Yeah,
Stormy.
okay.
Come on. Alright.
Mr. Excitement,
Yeah, really.
Mrs. Excitement. Don't,
Oh, right in the microphone too. Hey,
Delilah.
we need an auto mute
Big
on
mistake.
the mics real quick.
Auto mute.
Dogs bark. Oh my God,
Yeah.
Delilah.
Alright, sit down.
Well, we're gonna get nothing done tonight.
Yeah, do a rebuild in the lounge? No, but I am turning the upstairs office into a weight room while she's gone, and I am
Oh, is that where?
and I'm remodeling the garage.
Is that why you were moving that stuff the other day?
That's why I was moving that stuff the other day.
I was
So
wondering.
while she's gone, I've got a few things I'm doing.
He's got his own honey-do list.
Yeah, I got my own. But so yeah, I'm doing that.
Is the Honda cars and coffee thing this weekend?
No, it's in next one.
That's what I meant.
The one,
It's in May.
yeah, it's in May.
May.
Oh, it's in June?
June. I
It's
think the
in
next
June.
one's June.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
June. Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I had it down as May.
Okay, we
Second,
went to the one in April. which
Second
was,
weekend
like,
in
2
June,
weeks
sir?
ago.
yeah, April we went, so June is
Yeah.
next.
Oh,
So you
okay.
thinking about going?
20th to 22nd.
Well, sort of, maybe.
And the theme is Summer's Here.
Depending on what the girlfriend
Got it.
has planned.
Picked up 3 Hondas sitting in the driveway. My wife hates every time she goes. Looks at their old Hondas, that's funny. Yeah, I'm going Friday to go pick up a Honda. And then I'll leave after work.
What are you gonna pick up?
There's 2 cars there. So the question is, do I take the big trailer and get both cars, or do I take the small trailer and just get one of the cars?
Oh.
So I'm gonna have to I'm driving the Dodge tomorrow to see how it's, the Ram, I mean, tomorrow, to see how it's working. If it is, I'm gonna bring the big trailer, and I'm picking up an EK Civic and a CRX.
Oh,
And if it's not, then I've gotta decide which one of those I'm gonna do.
right.
Probably the CRX, since I promised that one first.
Oh.
Anyway, so I'm going to Bernardo's house.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
Bernardo's.
house.
Remember Keith's yellow CRX that he's had forever? He's giving it back to Keith, so.
The yellow one? Not white.
Oh, I don't remember that one?
Not
Yeah,
the-
we had a yellow one that had big hat support on the side.
Oh, yes.
It was like
Okay.
ITC
We,
or
we
whatever.
let Oscar Jr. drive it one year at Nationals,
Yeah, I remember that.
and he got hit by one of the guys at Hart. So, Clayton knows what I'm talking about.
When's
Yeah.
the?
June 20th to 22nd.
Well, the 8th gen subframe bolt up, it will not bolt up.
Where's it called?
One day.
The
Or sorry,
8th gen
June-
subframe
sorry,
is
June 20.
rectangular like an RSX style one,
It's a Saturday.
so it's not
It's
gonna
always
bolt
a
up.
Saturday.
That's not to say you couldn't be able to do something about it,
Didn't know that.
or you couldn't modify so it works, but it does not bolt up. Yeah. Yeah, the EG hatch, the red one here is Aaron Gehagen's. This is a B18C powered one.
That's an EK.
Oh, I'm sorry, EK. Oh, I'm sorry, I go off color.
That's my EK house.
Yeah, that's Carter's EK hatch. It's got a K20Z,
K24.
K24Z
7.
7, like a 2012 SI motor.
It's built
But
by
it's-
HPD.
But it's built by HPD for their the series that they were racing those cars in back in the 2012 through 20 whatever 16. It's got that engine in it. So the EEG's got the Budgie EEG swap. It's got the RDX head on a K20 bottom end. Thinking about taking that motor out and putting it in something else. And then the other EEG, the red one, that's Aaron's. It's a V18C, and it's going to get swapped to K20A2, and we're going to try to get that through California emissions reduction. So hopefully it works out.
So what's the latest on the CRV swaps?
The automatic and manual stuff.
Yeah.
We've been
Production's been so busy.
extremely busy at work, but when I have time, I've been working on the wiring. Today, I finished the last of tracing out all the wires I need to change. So
Yeah.
now I'm in the process of building the harness. So the harness probably has about 3 or 4 hours left to build.
Hmm.
This is the first one.
Yeah.
And then once it's done, I'll install the engine, and then I'll install the harness, and then we should get it running. In fact, I almost brought parts. I got a bunch of parts from K-Tune for it. So,
Oh.
because what we're going to do for the computer
Yeah.
is we're going to run the stock CRV ECU and use the immobilizer delete that K-Tune makes for like the RSX and CRV ECUs.
So this is a K24
A1
A1 with an
with
automatic.
automatic all-wheel drive transmission.
Okay. And that automatic, it's computer controlled?
Yes.
So you have to wire that.
That's
Okay.
that's wired in, and that's basically, I don't know, a dozen wires.
But the engine and the transmission roll out of a CRV
Yeah.
all-wheel drive automatic.
Yeah. The thing that's making the wiring more complex is all of the extra wiring that has to go to the car to let the car know what what gear it's in and stuff like that.
Even though it's a second gen CRV?
Second gen CRV engine going into a first gen CRV.
Oh, okay.
Because like what happens is on a first gen CRV, the gear selector tells the car what gear it's in.
Yeah.
On a and on a second gen, that sensor is on the transmission.
Oh.
They took it off the gear selector.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I need to wire that up so it all works. And I've been like figuring it all out because probably has to do with the way the wiring works in reverse slides, how the starter gets disabled if it's not in park or neutral and things like that. So you have to have all that stuff
Yeah.
working properly.
All that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff.
T-Brick asked, what axles do I need for EKK3?
Just our regular EGKAX or EKKAX.
Axles right now are a little bit...
unless you use the Accord intermediate shaft. And then you need to tell us that because we need to make you a shorter left-hand axle or right-hand axle. Which is it? Right-hand axle. A shorter right-hand axle.
I think there's a few other quick questions
Yeah,
in here.
go ahead.
Well, yeah, another one.
Well, what are you going to say about
no, I
axles?
just was going to say that axles right now, we had some issues, so they are on a bit of a long lead time, so bear with us.
Yeah, the axle, what happened was, for some weird reason, the people that hardened it for us didn't get it hardened properly, so
They were too brittle.
they were brittle. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they shattered when they tried to straighten them.
Yeah, because they warped when they heat treat them,
Yeah.
and then when they were straightening them, they broke.
What hardness to get them treated to?
I
They
couldn't tell
don't
you.
tell us
Oh.
that, yeah.
No, we know. I just don't
Oh,
know what it is.
I don't. It's written down. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Mua, it's still here, asked, will an 8th gen subframe bolt up to CRZ?
Oh, I answered that.
Okay.
No, it will not. The CRZ subframe is more like a EK subframe. It's just in the back with a rack bolted to it, and the 8th gen Civic is more like an RSX. It's a larger thing with the lower control arms bolted to it, and they're triangular shaped. So it doesn't work like that.
Nick Roberts has an interesting one.
Yeah.
What's that?
Does anybody know what would cause a 99 Civic EX to have soot build up on the spark plugs and a slightly rough idle, not very good gas mileage, with no checked engine light? I'm trying to see if there's anything else.
What about throttle body and or that valve? That's under-
Fast idle valve?
Fast idle valve.
What was it? Read that again. I didn't have to look at it.
Yeah, it's right there, so
Right in the
right
middle.
underneath
Nick,
Clayton's.
does everybody know what we call it? Build up on the spark plugs. So, build up on the spark plugs could be oil. Does it smoke when you first take off? If it does, you've got bad valve guides. If it is, sounds, or if you got just soot, it could just be a weak spark. So you may have a distributor that's going out or a coil that's going out. So that could be it. The other thing is, the Hondas are very sensitive to valve adjustments. Almost always whenever you get a rough idle, the first thing you should check is the valve adjustment.
You
Yeah.
said it's not very good gas mileage.
It sounds like too much fuel, or it's not burning the fuel
Not
properly.
burning the fuel
Well,
properly.
cheap spark plugs. Hondas hate cheap spark plugs.
Uh,
I
Oh,
tried
yeah.
to put cheap spark plugs in like my
You gotta have,
CRV before.
yeah, you need actual realized,
Ran like garbage.
yeah, you need like
good.
nipping, real Denso spark plugs and not counterfeits and,
They're not just whatever was cheapest at the parts
Yeah,
store,
not
not the
just-
cheap
yeah.
spark plug wires. Just they're real finicky about that stuff.
and spark plug wires, boy, that makes a huge difference. You need a good quality spark plug wire, that can really weaken the spark. But once it gets, it may not be burning it properly, and eventually that'll cause a problem with the catalytic converter.
Yeah, if you got too much fuel.
Yeah, too much fuel,
Yeah.
it'll kill it. And also a bad catalytic converter will cause these problems too.
He's asking down a couple of things down. He says he's thinking fuel pressure regulator or something to do with fuel pump.
Well, you would have if it's a fuel pressure regulator, that usually means it puts out too much pressure,
Which is
or too much fuel,
Yeah.
and then what winds up happening in that particular, if it's too little, you get a lane misfire. At the higher RPMs, it starts missing really bad, and that means you're not getting enough fuel. If you have too much fuel, usually you get soot on the back of your car.
Okay, so the soot on the spark plugs may be an indication that he is getting too much fuel. So
Possibly.
look at the tailpipe.
Yeah,
See
if
if you got
let's see if there's a lot of soot on the tailpipe,
tailpipe.
in which case it's either too much fuel or it's not burning the fuel.
Yeah.
So,
Something
one of
like-
those two things.
Yeah.
And why it wouldn't burn the fuel would be a problem with bad plug wires, bad plugs, weak coil, those types of things.
Yeah.
Rancito asked, is the 8th gen SI brake master cylinder different than the EK one? Sorry, EX one?
What?
EX one.
What? Say again?
On
Is
the
the-
8th gen,
SI brake master cylinder different than the EX one?
I have no idea. I would have to check part numbers on something like Honda parts now.
8th gen Civic SI
06
EX.
to 06 to 11.
is it different than
The EX.
the EX one?
So,
Good thing she gets right next to the microphone when she does it.
That's the best part. She
Well-
knows where the microphone is.
The 8th gen SI
Stormy corner.
typically would use a 15/16 master cylinder.
Well, they're all ABS, right?
They're all ABS by 8th gen, so they either be 15/16 or 1 inch. It may be different in terms of the bore diameter, might be slightly different, but yeah, I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look up the numbers.
It seemed to me that the only possible difference, it seems to me the possible difference would be, one's disc brake, one's drum brake, is that correct?
By the 8th,
Is EX all
I
disc?
think
all
EX all
disc in
disc.
that.
All
Yeah,
disc,
it's
so
all-
it should
it's
probably
all
be
di-
fine.
yeah.
Because I can't see them programming their ABS
No,
different, so it's
no.
probably gets the same amount of fuel, probably has the same, probably all the same. But you can look up the part numbers
Yeah,
on websites and see if the part numbers are the same. Believe me, if they're spec the same, they're gonna have the same part number unless for some weird reason they were made in a different factory.
right. That would be the only.
That would be the
difference.
only reason.
One's
And-
made here, one's made in Canada, one's
can't
made
go
in
for that.
Japan.
Right,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
But most all Civics are made in either Canada or US, correct, Carter? With the exception of-
Nowadays.
Yeah,
Well,
nowadays.
because Swindon got shut down. I believe.
No, we're talking back then.
Eighth gen? they're
Oh,
still
HN.
making-
Oh, I don't remember. I think they're all Canada or US at that point.
Yeah,
Canada.
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 No, I put one too many A's in there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Canada.
Is the RDX head true VTEC or is it a Cord Eco? It's a Cord Eco. It's two lobes on the intake and one lobe on the exhaust. And I think somebody makes a camshaft now for the two lobe things.
Does
Isn't
somebody make one
Ford
again?
Piston making one now?
Yeah,
You have to ask,
probably.
somebody may make a cam for that now. I actually have some Brian Crowers, they made a run of them, and I actually have some Skunks, they made a run of them, but those are the only two companies that made them, and they discontinued them pretty quickly afterwards. So, I believe because the TSX came out. So,
I don't even think.
playing keep away.
Oh,
Go somewhere else.
with the bone?
You with the bone, yeah.
Delilah.
And now Delilah's like,
Where's the bone?
wait a minute, I want
I
that.
want the
Sit.
bone.
If you're gonna be here.
No,
sit.
she's taking Brian's spot.
Hey, what are you doing?
Snuggling up and shedding on you.
Yeah.
Hey, is 5W30 okay running an L15V7? J-Ball asked.
5W30
Seems
usually
a little
takes
heavy.
5W20.
0W20 actually.
Is it 0W in my
So-
L15B7?
That's what my SI says on the cap.
Oh.
And in the manual.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay
It's
to
o-
run it,
it's
you're
okay.
you're just gonna lose horsepower.
Yeah.
Well,
The engine has to pump harder.
not necessarily. Not
Yeah,
well.
maybe not in Arizona in
Yeah,
summer.
Yeah, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
I would run it here in Arizona if you're running somewhere where it's cooler. You know.
I would run a 520, not a 530.
Well,
But, and believe me, I see the value of thicker oils because when we have 300,000 mile motors, we put thicker oil in them and
Yeah.
they maintain oil pressure.
Well,
Right.
Just put Rotella in them.
yeah.
Yeah. Rotella.
Why did people start
Slick
using
50.
that?
I don't know. Ask
I
the
have no
Miata
idea.
guys. They put Rotella in their cars.
Why did they start using that? It was the weirdest deal. All of a sudden, everybody's using Rotella to go racing.
Because, yeah, exactly.
Because it's cheap and thick.
Cheap and thick.
Yeah, have you ever seen how much Keith's oil budget is on his Corvette motors?
Oh my God, they have so much oil they put through those things.
There's so much oil in
I would
so
imagine
heavy.
if you're driving a turbo, whatever the hell it is, you're gonna want a thicker oil, so you're gonna want a cheap thick oil, you know, and
I guess. I'd rather just buy a premium oil and be done with it.
yeah. But
Yeah,
then
well, you
again,
change
you're
oil
not,
every
you're
year.
not pumping out 1,000 horsepower with
Well-
massive amounts of pre-detonation you're trying to
Yeah.
protect against.
Okay.
But let's see. There's an interesting sway bar question here. Oh shoot, I lost it. It was somebody with a subframe swap.
Wasn't the CRZ question, was it?
EGV68 killer. I have a 98 Civic with a K24A swap, and it has a 95 Civic subframe in it. Do I get a sway bar for a 98 Civic or for the 95?
95.
Yeah. Oh my god, seriously, dogs? Brian, we can switch spots if you would like.
Yeah, that's all right.
Alright. Figured I should offer.
You're gonna lift that slimy bone right on my leg, aren't you?
Yes,
you
yes.
are. Hey, Delilah, cut it out.
I've been waiting to buy a CRX in Japan, but I want one with the glass roof, Josh says.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Wait, he already has one.
No, Josh Moore, somebody else.
Different Josh,
Oh,
Different
different
Josh.
job.
not Xerox family.
Oh, all right.
So,
Okay.
did Rob sold his glass roof, didn't he?
I don't know if he did.
Where was it? It's not in the.
I think it's
we
still in
don't.
Joe's shop.
At Joe's shop? Okay.
We never had the glass roof in our shop.
All right.
His glass roof car, you mean?
No, he bought a glass roof for a CRX and
Hey,
a bunch of right-hand drive stuff.
The whole
it's
roof?
the door.
Yeah,
You bought the roof
yeah, the roof.
to weld it on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know if you
the
ever saw
CRX
that
over
blue
there.
CRX that's got the roof cut out of it, that's in Keith's yard?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Rob's.
Okay.
that was Rob's project
Oh,
that
all right.
never,
finished.
yeah, it rained in a bunch of times.
Oh, okay. That's
Probably had
done.
2 inches of water in the bottom of it forever,
Yeah, it's done now.
yeah.
Mug step. I still think the GD3 is the best car ever built. Even you can't let her chew that in
You
your
know what?
bike because
I
it'll
would
be too
say
loud.
it's
Come here.
too.
That's not
She has to be on the
working for us,
ground.
okay?
I still think GD3 fits, or the GD3 is
No.
the best car ever built, even if it's mostly old ladies who drive them.
Heck, I wish they'd sold more of them.
GD3 is that the second gen?
First gen.
First gen. Okay.
First
The
gen.
problem with the,
Pretty close to the best car Honda ever made for like a daily use car.
oh, it's a Civic, a modern Civic is what
It's
it
the
is.
third best
Sorry.
daily use car ever.
You know what's really funny though about those fits? If you are not a Honda person,
Yeah.
people have no idea what they are.
Yeah, they did not. I don't know if
Oh,
their
yeah.
advertising just failed or why.
Well, I don't know. It
Well, they
wasn't.
just weren't Civics.
It wasn't a car that everybody knows what a Honda Civic is. Really. But the fit, they did not advertise it the same way. Did you ever see an advertisement on TV for a Fit?
The Fit is Go, yes, I did.
Okay, that's
But
the only one that
That was the only one, yeah.
that I ever remember seeing. And so, you know, your average person in the United States anyway.
Had they released the, I don't know if you've ever seen the City, the Honda City?
Yeah,
Had they released the sedan version of the Fit?
Yeah.
Along with the hatchback version, I think they would have sold the numbers they needed to make it a thing. And they would have had to call it a Fit as well.
yeah,
So, or they could have called it the City. The
Yeah.
City was a better name anyway.
yeah.
The Fit was just kind of weird.
Again, it was a total, it was kind of an anomaly in the Honda lineup.
Yeah, but it-
four-door hatchback.
Right.
You know, so.
It could have been the new Civic. Had they also had the sedan,
Yeah.
had they had a coupe version,
Yeah.
it could have been the new Civic.
Yeah, I agree, it could have been, but Honda's marketing people,
Yeah.
that's not what
They
they
dropped
wanted.
the ball.
That's not what they wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they were after.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. So it's funny, you know, we work in a shop full of Honda people.
Yeah.
And so I take that as although we're a very small subset of, 13 people or something right now. Over the years, I take that as what's the best Honda ever made is what a bunch of Honda guys own the most of. And out of all of us, the most owned Honda is a first gen CRV.
First in CRV.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's more first gen CRVs at our shop that are owned by employees than any other car.
It's very utilitarian.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's just like more of us because we all have different generation Civics, we've all had different generation Integras, but it's always first gen CRVs.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting about that is, and the reason you probably all have them is it's utilitarian.
Oh yeah.
Some of them came with all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. Some of them were manuals, which was nice.
Mhm.
You know, when in reality the Element was a much more utilitarian vehicle,
Oh,
It didn't
yeah.
have enough ground clearance.
and it wasn't all-wheel. And the all-wheel drive version wasn't
Yeah, but
designed.
you didn't have enough ground clearance
Yeah,
in those. It was
right.
the only downside.
Yeah.
That fuel
Well,
tank
I
and that
think
cage
I-
hung too low in it.
The CRV took advantage of the RAV4 popularity because it was a direct competitor to that.
Yeah.
There was no competitor to the Element.
Element, no.
So
Yeah.
it was just kind of an outlier. And it was extremely popular, but not with the people that Honda thought it was going to be popular with.
It was popular with campers and stuff like that.
And old people.
Yeah.
Especially
Not
in Europe,
with,
old
not
people
with
love
young
it.
people, which is
Right.
who they were
Yeah.
aiming
Well, it
at.
probably didn't help that the only person from Top Gear that liked the Element was James May. He did the video
Well,
on
it was
That's
very similar to another manufacturer's vehicle. They were targeting it at the young people. They didn't buy it. The older people bought it.
Right, yep.
Which
But I mean,
sounds
I love the
nameless,
Element.
but, you know, the same kind of concept. They
Yeah.
would, you know, they never did figure out why.
Yeah, I do love the Element also though.
My K24 Swap GD is crazy fun. Yeah, I
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I want to find a first gen again. I just can't. I just don't have time for it. I got too many projects. I want to find another first gen. I want to put a K in it, and then I actually just want to sell it. I want to drive it a little bit, and I want to sell it,
Yeah.
and move on to the next one. I actually want to take my. I have a GK Fit, and it has an L15 in it, and it's fast as hell. And I actually want to put a K in it.
Well,
So I'll put the L15 back in it afterwards.
yeah.
So yeah. Yes.
9th Gen Dan is saying my supercharged K24A swapped 9th Gen keeps wanting to go lean on E85. Any help?
Do you have enough injector?
A fuel.
Yeah, because because you're not getting enough fuel. So why is that? Is it the tune? Is it the capacity of the fuel pump, or is it the capacity of the injectors? One of those three items is your issue. So if it's going lean, it's not getting enough fuel. So either the computer's not telling it to dump more fuel, or the injectors are running out of duty cycle, or the fuel pump isn't flowing enough fuel. So you need to determine which one of those it is and fix it. So,
There's right-hand drive Clayton say down there at the bottom.
something Brian to drive, Brian's.
I want to drive
Yeah.
Brian's. Which one? Mine or his?
Both.
Yeah, both of them.
I think mine was funner. More fun.
Now that I work in the UV industry, I like to pretend I don't like dyno cars anymore.
That's too funny.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Dyno cars will be around for another 25 or 30 years.
Easy, easy. the problem is you can't tell people in the end what they can and can't do with something like that.
California's trying.
Yeah, and it's not working. So, I'll tell you what's interesting. I looked at the new, I'll tell you, of all the EV cars, there are two of them I really am interested in. One of them I can't have, and that's the Honda E, which I think is a shame.
Yeah.
It is a great looking car, and it's exactly what I want an EV for, which is a small commuter car.
Commuter car.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. The other one I'm looking at now is,
The
what did I
slate?
tell you? Yeah, pickup.
The slate.
The
The
slate.
slate, yeah.
The
Oh,
slate.
somebody was talking about that earlier in the
The
comments.
slate. I want a slate, and I want to put good enough suspension on it. I can put two of our containers of engine brackets to haul them back and forth to
Yeah.
the powder coater
Yeah.
Does it have an 8-foot bed?
with the tailgate down.
No, it looks
With
like
the
it's got,
tailgate down.
It looks like it's got a 4-foot.
You can put a 4x8 sheet in the back.
I don't know what it.
Without it hanging over the tailgate?
You can.
It's beyond the tailgate.
I thought-
It goes onto the tailgate.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was. So it's a 6-foot bed.
Yeah,
Oh, it looks smaller than the pictures.
yeah. It does look small,
No.
but even if it didn't, I'll stack them up and just tie them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Have you seen
I've done that
Have you
before.
seen the interior?
Oh,
Pictures
yeah,
Of,
it's-
pictures of the interior.
Yeah.
Roll up windows.
Yeah, exactly.
Crank
Oh.
windows.
It's perfect.
Analog gauges.
Yeah.
It was something else that it's just retro stuff.
Yeah.
But that's why it's $12,000.
Yeah, it's
What-
less than 20,000.
12,000.
Well, 18 is the last I heard.
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. They changed the
No.
price.
So
All right.
but
Clayton said they
it's-
have a couple E's at work.
They
At his
do.
work.
It is
I'll
work.
trade you a L15 Fit for an E.
He's in New
I don't
Zealand.
think they could probably give them one.
L15 B7 Fit for an E. He needs to smuggle it out of there.
Oh,
You didn't hear me
yeah.
say that, but you know what to do.
But you know what to do. But I'd say we should go drive.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Gumption Garage says, "Hey folks, thanks for doing these live streams and bestowing your knowledge. I have a K20 with the EFK2 62A mounts in my 91 Civic EX and nerve-wracking clearance. Half-inch at rear trans casing and quarter-inch at alternator. I have the K-Tune relocating kit with a 2006 RSX alternator. Low setting, alt sits on Innovate,
Innovative track bar.
track bar. Any tips to get fitting better?" Wow.
Interesting. So, this is a K20 you said, it's on the lower setting they said on the mountain?
Yeah,
Yes.
EFK2.
Yeah, I mean, the only way to get around that would be to raise it up on the higher setting. Unfortunately, if you do that, you're gonna either need to chop the hood or you're gonna need to get an SIR style hood.
Yeah.
Does Robert from Hush have his out yet?
I don't know if Robert has his out yet. Robert from Hush Performance has molds for those. I don't know if he's selling them yet.
He was in town today.
I just saw something about it. He just posted something.
Oh, did you?
No, we should have asked him when we
But I
had
don't
lunch. with him.
remember
Yeah,
what it was.
he was actually, we had lunch with him today.
Oh, okay.
He came down from Denver.
Yeah.
He was in Tucson picking up some stuff.
Oh.
But anyway, check on that. I think the other company that might make one is VIS. They may have one.
Are they still around?
Yeah. VIS Racing.
Yeah.
Is that pronounced Viz Racing or is it just VIS?
I don't
I
know.
think it's VIS.
I think
I've always heard people say
I've
VIS.
always, well, that's
Yeah.
because I'm your dad, and that's what I've always said.
Yeah. I've always heard other people call it that too.
Yeah.
Trans casing and half-inch at the rear of the trans casing too on the subframe, I assume.
Oh, it's close. It's right there.
He said, "I'm in the higher setting. Sorry. Good clearance is good."
Okay. So
Oh,
let's
okay.
talk
Put-
about the settings,
clearance
by
is
the
good.
way.
Sorry.
When you have a Hasport
This one?
engine mount kit, because the rear bracket is on the engine and the side brackets are on the car, to mount the engine high, you use the two high holes on the right and left side of the engine, and you use the lower hole on the engine bracket on the rear. That's how you raise it up. If you try to use all high or all low, then it actually twists the motor. So you want to make sure that you're doing it right.
Well, so it twists it front to back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the way it is like, you mount it on the two high holes,
Yeah.
then because the rear bracket raises up, you gotta go to the low hole on the
Yeah.
back-
Oh,
rear bracket.
okay.
So.
I know that, and every time my brain still has a problem wrapping that around. It's so funny. I know that for a fact. I tell people this on the phone sometimes.
Yeah,
But the second I put one in a car, I'm going, No, I want, no,
Yeah,
do it right.
I think people have it. I have to think of it how I just explained it, otherwise it's like,
It goes in a low hole, right?
yeah,
It goes in the lower hole.
lower hole to go higher.
On the rear,
Yeah,
on the rear,
yeah,
on the rear.
because
mount.
it's, exactly, because it's on the engine, not on the frame.
On the frame, okay.
So, anyway. A guy named Slimeball, or something like that, sells carbon and fiberglass hoods for 8891 CRX wagon. I said, cool. Young Static uses them. Well, we'll have to see. We actually made one decades ago.
Yeah.
We just never brought it to market.
We have the molds.
We have molds here.
Is that that
We
guy?
use them on our private cars.
That
But
guy?
yeah, we built it for my cars, for our own cars.
That was a guy out in the Natchez Junction that
Yeah.
made it for you?
Arizona prototype.
Yeah.
Yep.
Buddy talked you out of doing that.
Yeah, I need to do the 6th gen cord now. Chris, hey, I need to do the 6th gen now. All right, wait, who's this dude who lived in New Zealand? I used to live in New Zealand. Lots of good GM cars out there. Well,
Yeah, right.
one of the Team Axle stands. Where's he from? He's from New Zealand, right? Team Axle stands?
I think he is.
And then obviously, yeah.
Oh, Clayton.
No, Clayton's from
Clayton's
Ohio.
in Ohio.
Oh, you're right. I
I mean, basically,
You're
no.
confusing him with,
I mean, close enough.
Yeah.
Confusing him with Nuggets.
yeah.
JD
Oh,
J.D.
J.D.
Nuggets.
Nuggets, yeah.
Who's from New
He
Zealand?
was from New
Who
Zealand.
lives,
yeah.
who's
Sorry,
Most of the time.
who's from the U.S. but lives in New England,
Yeah.
or New Zealand?
sorry, Clayton.
Oh, how's your Integra coming along?
It's,
Yeah, Vic's asking.
it's coming.
Slowly but slowly.
Yeah, slowly but slowly.
Hey, you're working on it, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we need to work on it this Sunday. What are you doing Sunday?
Shooting.
You shooting?
It's the last good day of the
What are you doing Thursday night?
Therapy.
She's in therapy because I've been taking too long in her car.
Yeah,
Yes.
crying
So,
for
yeah.
the never-ending
Yeah,
swap.
she cries all the time about it. So. I'm sorry. I just want to say that.
But
I'm
somebody
sorry. I didn't mean
said,
to disturb you. Go back to it.
what did somebody else say? Chris A said, I saw your video with the multiple case swap kits for the CD Accord. I appreciate the love for the 5th generation Accords.
Yep.
As I said
That-
earlier, I need to
we've
do the
gotta do
6th
six.
now.
Yeah. 98
The 9802.
Yeah. By the way, that was something interesting. I don't know if you guys follow Hush Performance. He's got a YouTube channel. He recently took a 98 Accord F23 and did an H22 head swap on it. And
Did an F23,
yeah,
did an H head swap
yep.
to it.
Oh, because of the bottom end.
Because you can't get Prelude bottom ends anymore because, like on the 5th gen, once the cylinder walls wear out, it's just.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you just gonna sit there till you growl at them? Is that the deal?
Probably.
Yeah, sure she
Please,
does.
don't make eye contact.
Yeah, whatever you.
Oh, Stormy has to be up
You
though if
are
Delilah's up.
popular, Brian.
Eye contact, yeah.
So,
Jeez.
so anyway,
They're superstars.
yeah.
They're super something.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The black shirt's gonna be all white when I'm done here. I have so much fur. I'm gonna have more fur than her. I brush her every morning, and the brush just gets absolutely filled with fur.
I'm drinking some water now.
I think they're okay
No
with
sudden
that.
movements.
Yes, the
Being
G23 swap is what
Being
it's
very
called.
slow.
But anyway, he's got a good video on it. So check it out.
Aaron Van Wagner said I have an EK with K2482 with an 11 Civic Si 6-speed LSD. It's getting a pretty nasty whine on D-cell. Anything I should look into?
Ooh,
Nasty wine on D-cell.
that sounds like a bear.
That's either, well, with the transmission,
Yeah.
I assume it's with transmission.
I think
You
on
think it's a
D-cell,
bear?
I think it's a differential.
A differential, yeah.
The wine.
Yeah.
D-cell on that, it means that the gears aren't meshing properly on D-cell. They're on the back side of the tooth, or the front side of the tooth, one,
Mhm.
and so preload may not have been correct or something. Gear oil might not be correct, one of those
Got it.
things. Try changing the gear oil in the transmission to something that's got
Modifiers.
modifiers, molybdenum disulfide modifiers and see if that helps.
Yeah, you can also try a synchro mesh. People swear by that, although I don't find it particularly effective.
Yeah. But
I've used the Ford friction modifier before in transmissions.
We use the Ford, yeah, the LSD friction modifier they make.
Yeah.
That's what we use.
That Ford
That,
makes
and then-
really good fluids. It's one thing.
And then, yeah, Honda MTF.
Yeah, that mixed with Honda MTF. Yeah,
Do
it's
not
only like a
use
small
gear
bottle.
oil.
yeah, you can't use gear oil.
Gear oil and Honda is a no-no. Did somebody say Gadzooks earlier?
Yeah.
It's Z-O-O-K-X.
Zooks. Yeah.
I think they're
I
talking about a
think
company.
Clayton is trying to ask if somebody works for Zooks.
Oh, it's a California company, got it.
Well, it's a
Tests at TRC here in
It's a
Ohio.
Zooks.
Interesting.
California.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
It's just a TRC. Oh.
there are a lot of EV cars, I'm sorry, a lot of EV companies sprang into existence with the early Tesla's of success. And now that he's tanking, it'll be interesting. And he's tanking for two reasons.
No
First,
politics.
First of all, EVs have kind of stalled.
Yeah.
But secondly, he's kind of stalled. So, so it'll be interesting to see what it does with the EV industry generally.
In general.
In general.
Well, the other thing too is aren't they ending they're ending
The subsidies,
subsidies.
that's,
Yeah, you can't even drive in the HOV lane.
And that's
starting in
the
October.
and that's the other thing too, is they're
you're not gonna be able to drive this.
you're not gonna be able to drive in the HOV
Which,
lane.
honestly, so like I drive, you know, when I was driving in from Awatuki every day, the amount of EVs in the HOV lane, it would move slower half the time than just the far left-hand lane. Because it was so jam-packed with people, with a single person and their stupid Tesla.
Yeah.
It was, you'd go by and there'd be like 15 Teslas in a row, and one person carpooling, you're like, what's even the point, honestly, at this
Well,
point,
I
having
mean,
carpooling?
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where they need that, and I think that's probably why this law or this rule is sunsetting.
Yeah.
They need to, got to back to two people in a car
Yep.
or ride a motorcycle.
No, you're not gonna come over here.
But,
No,
and it's one of those things too, it's like, I think, and I don't
No,
like the way
totally.
California does a lot of things, but I think their they're actually 3+ HOV lanes are kind of a good idea. Because
No.
sometimes like, 2+ is cheating, like two people isn't, you know,
You're taking,
really,
well, you're taking one car off the road.
yeah,
I mean, think about it that way.
true.
You know, but
Why should motorcycles count though?
because they're high occupancy. That's what the whole thing was about.
The motorcycle,
It's, if you have one
We
person.
can only fit one.
If you have one person per pair of wheels, it's high occupancy.
Yeah, there you go.
okay, because I was saying, like, if I take a Formula 1 car, do I get that thing? Because it only seats one and it's full.
No, you only, because you have four wheels.
You got four wheels.
It has a wheel, it has to do with wheels, not seats.
Ah, what about three-wheelers?
1.5
If
people.
you have to have 1.5 people, you
Oh,
have to have a baby with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deathstrike asked, do you need friction modifiers for H22 LSD transmissions?
Any LSD transmission should have a friction modifier. It's particularly critical on the ones that have the clutch style
Right.
LSDs.
Yeah. Because if you don't, they chatter a lot.
Yeah.
Well, they chatter either way, but they
Well,
chatter
they
a lot.
chatter a lot
and,
more.
And let's be serious. The torsions were made so that you didn't really need the friction modifier, honestly. But all the clutch ones have to have the friction modifier. Otherwise, like your CRX, remember when we were first breaking that thing in?
Chicka, chicka, chicka,
Oh,
chicka.
it's
yeah.
so bad. You turn the wheel a little bit, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Like right now, in fact, I didn't put friction modifier in the TSX. I need to because when I was turning it to get it on the trailer, it was chattering. too
Oh, the
hard,
J
so-
series TSX?
Yeah, so I need to do that.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, we used to use Honda MTF with it.
Yeah, I need to go buy some.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my to-do list.
To do.
Oh, you're writing stuff
No.
down now.
No.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So Lyle is so offended she can't get back up to bug you guys again.
What troopers and stuff.
You guys don't have to stop talking because I'm doing this.
Oh, I know, but I don't think we had anything to talk about. Let's see. Oh, big shoes and cause fluid because that's what he asked for an LSD. You know, we had a cause LSD in that CRX, and we ended up using. And I didn't even know they made fluid. Maybe this was probably a decade ago.
Yeah,
that we ended up
the
having to do
cause already has the friction modifier in it.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, as a matter of fact, I think I have half can of that stuff sitting in the,
It comes in a can. That's
yeah,
right.
comes in a can. I think I have half a can of it still sitting in the, in my shop over there.
Oh, I didn't realize Aaron's.
Aaron G.
Dead air. drink.
Dead air drink. So,
That's not fun.
10W30.
Hey, no. Delilah.
Delilah.
Yeah, we don't like motorcycles either, do we?
No, you don't want 10W30.
No, the
10W40.
MTF is for all the transmissions.
Yeah.
Really.
The friction modifiers for the LSDs, as for the clutch style LSDs. And Honda MTF is more like a 10W40, I believe, than it is a 10W30.
Yeah, I don't know what the. I don't think.
Back
I've
in the
read it.
day, we used to use that in our race cars, 10W40 in the transmissions of the race cars.
Right.
Yeah, back in the 90s, that's what we just put in 10W40.
Ooh, Andrew bought 2 sets of Hasport mounts last year for my 4th gen and 5th gen Preludes. Finally able to use them this weekend. Bought a couple H22A Euro Rs with LSDs. I'm excited.
Nice.
Excellent. Right, so 10W30 for older manuals, yeah,
Yeah.
1900s.
Mr. Fusion. You know what that's a reference to?
No,
Back to the Future. Remember when he comes back, he says, "We don't need the 1.21 gigawatts or whatever it
Yeah.
was." Mr. Fusion. It was it looked like a blender on the back of the, just putting banana peels and pouring beer in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Anything to fuel it up.
I'm gonna start attending regularly, Clayton says. Regularly again, Clayton.
we're gonna try and do, so a couple things about the live. We moved to Tuesday night because it was more convenient for everybody. That's why it's Tuesdays. Plus, it's a good excuse to have tacos. It's Taco
Exactly.
Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
So, by the way, we had tacos today.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So we'll have them next time.
Okay.
Then, we may wind up adding some other live stuff as well. We're thinking about doing memberships. I'm just letting you guys know. And that would be one of those things where a membership would allow you to get priority on your questions and also have member-only live videos where we could get more in depth on some of the subjects that we get into. A lot of times we're just kind of skimming the surface on a lot of this stuff,
Yeah.
trying to
Get
you know,
get to as many questions as we can. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Especially
anyway,
when it comes to
just letting you guys
troubleshooting
know.
and stuff. Let's see. Oh, Jesus. We don't have enough time for that question. Soul says accidentally caused a sesame size scratch. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Size scratch on my freshly decked K24A head. It's deep, about 0.5, half millimeter. Otherwise, head is perfect. Should I run with it?
What kind of gasket are you going to try to run? What kind of head gasket, and where is the scratch?
Like a sesame set?
I'm not sure what that means. Sesame size.
Like sesame seed? I don't know. I don't think it's
Yeah, I don't know.
But
What's the question?
how long is it?
It's right below right-hand drive Clayton at the top.
Right here.
Soul.
Accidentally causes sesame side scratch on my freshly decked kill. That's pretty deep. And the question is, does it go all the way from the cylinder to a water passage or
Yeah.
an oil passage? If it does, unfortunately, you might have to do something about that.
Yeah, if
It's
it's
not going to get filled by the gasket. Yeah.
no, but if
That's-
it doesn't go all the way to the bore, up to the head combustion chamber,
you,
he may be okay.
it might be okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You might be able to still get a seal.
Yeah, because
That's kind of iffy though.
because typically don't the head gaskets, they have a
You have a raised section.
right, and that goes around the bore to try to seal it.
Yes.
If it doesn't intrude into that area, it should be okay. I can't.
I would think that there's a good chance it's
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
And what would I do? Honestly, I would just run it.
I'd run it.
And see what happens.
Yeah,
As
see
long as
what
it's not-
happens.
As long as it's not touching any of the sides.
Yeah,
as long as
as long as
it's
it's
in the
not
center.
completely through, I would run it. That's just because I'm weird like that.
and use some was that the copper coat
The copper stuff,
copper
yeah.
stuff on the
Yeah,
gasket.
it's called.
Meg, OEM thickness, yes. sesame seed size, about a quarter inch from the closest coolant port, otherwise far from cylinder.
Ah, you're probably fine.
I think you're fine. Make sure you use the copper coat on the gasket to get it to, extra sealing and then
Yeah.
go from there.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks,
$4.99.
Aaron. Hey, wrong.
JB Weldon send it, Clayton says. You know, he's a Honda engineer, he should know.
I was
Yeah,
saying.
Wait, why wouldn't you Honda bond it?
Yeah.
JB Weldon's in it.
I know. But no, did I tell you about the time, I think you were probably there, but I was at somebody's like shop get together party or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and for some reason he left this was, late night beer drinking party, and he left a freshly decked engine out on an engine stand, which is a piece of plastic covering it. People were picking up and setting down their beers on the engine. You're like, oh, stop doing that, please, just stop it.
Oh my God.
You got the block freshly decked, and people are just setting their beer bottles down on it.
But it was on a piece of plastic.
So
No, it just had a piece of plastic
we are
covering it.
Definitely
Like a
working on
sheet,
the RD1
plastic
Yeah,
all-wheel drive
plastic
fishing
sheet
boats.
covering it.
They're actually done. We just need to get them welded. We have been working hard to fill back orders right now, so those parts are sitting on the pallet, ready to be bent, welded, and powder coated.
Did you get your new welder yet?
Yes.
Good.
We should have 2 new employees as of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got 2 new employees.
Well, good.
Yeah,
And they're both they're both good.
yeah, they're both good.
Yeah, they're both good. They're the one young guy is a good welder. Is doing a great job. Part time right now. He's getting ready to shift to full time, and then we hired another guy for sandblasting and deburring
Oh, right. That's how-
and things of that nature, and he's knocking it out of the park.
Well, good.
He's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Hello from
Definitely.
Canada.
So that should people a lot of things. A lot of times it's the steel that slows us down, honestly, because it's a lot more steps than the aluminum.
By the way, that $4.99 goes towards the beat fund.
Oh, I was going to ask you about the beat fund.
Yeah, we're gonna have to buy our own beat.
Okay, that was what I was going to
Yeah.
bring up. What happened with the beat? I
That
actually,
we're supposedly supposed to.
yeah,
be.
that was kind of. So I
In the
saw
ethos.
something about somebody who had one here in the valley for like $8,000 or
Yeah, I
something.
don't wanna, yeah,
You
no,
know.
I'm not doing that. I found them for $7,000. I found them for $6,000. I've been told I can get one for $4,000.
Oh.
So I'm
Oh,
hanging out
okay.
for that.
Okay.
Gone is
Question.
gone can be, the 33 is for a set of urethane, so it's per mount.
So a pair per month.
So pair per mount.
Yeah.
$33 per pair of bushings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Were you at the last meetup at American Honda? Yes, we were.
And we'll be at the one in June.
Yeah.
At
back
most
in
all of
June.
them. But yeah, we had the TAM Prelude and the PCI RSX. We had the Yawsport
Yawsport
TL.
TL.
And then I can't remember the guy's name, but that super clean Integra Type R with that white ITR that was with us.
deal.
She loves you.
Dog alert.
Hey, no.
He's like, excuse me, you need to go. This isn't
Right.
for you. This is hers.
Have a good night.
Down
CRX.
Who's leaving? Oh, Vic's leaving.
Vic.
here.
Goodbye, Vic.
Down.
It is
Down.
703.
Yeah.
Do all-wheel drive fifth gen Accord, already converting to 5-lug.
Go get that one.
That's the best
Um,
all-wheel
all right.
drive setup.
Yeah, for fifth gen Accord,
5th gen Accord.
94 to 7.
Go get it.
Yeah, well,
Does S1 build make something for the Prelude that we're
I
working
don't
on?
know if that will work because that's still got the double wishbone
That is a weird
the rear suspension.
Yeah.
Double wishbone rear suspension with the upright, just like the front. I don't know of anybody who makes anything for that. For that setup,
All drive fit gen Accord.
there may be something out there, but I don't know what would replace the stock.
Fit gen Accord?
Yeah, rear-wheel drive or rear
So,
suspension setup that
there-
would have
so-
ability for axles.
So I believe there was a fifth gen Accord all-wheel drive in Europe, and
Oh.
that's the parts that Kyle, boosted boy Kyle, used to convert his Odyssey.
Oh,
So you might go to some of his early videos when he was converting his Odyssey to all-wheel drive.
first gen Odyssey?
And, yep, and
Oh.
check that out and see
Okay.
if that gives you the information you need.
okay.
But I believe that's what he did. He used he used Accord parts to convert his Odyssey.
Okay, because that would be the same.
Yep.
The rear would be the same. The front's different, but the
Right.
rear is.
Yep.
Yours is the same.
Or, yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So, yeah. K20C S2000. Yeah, I like S2000 with K20C.
We sell, K20C, never mind. I was gonna say, we sell so many APK kits.
We sell, yeah, for the regular K20A, K20Z.
I sell more of those than I do stock replacement mounts for S2000 this year.
Sell more what?
K-swap mounts for S2000 than I do
Oh,
Stock
Sorry.
replacement.
stock replacement mounts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those engines are just kind of getting wore out.
Yeah.
So people are swapping over to a case to the front wheel drive K series motors, much more plentiful.
Yeah.
More get
And more horsepower.
more horsepower out of them
Easy.
and a lot
And
more
cheaper.
cheaper.
A lot
yeah,
cheaper.
a lot cheaper. Yeah.
I still want an S2000 at some point.
Yeah.
Still need to find
E
a clean
series
S2000
H to
build.
B trans.
Hmm.
What?
E series H2B
Keep us
trans.
I was just looking at, there's conversations going
Yeah.
on and then I'm in the middle of it instead of at the beginning of it. Some more EP3 stuff. I don't have an EP3. I do have an RSX. Anything that works on the RSX works on the EP3.
Yeah.
I really need to bring the RSX back and convert it to all-wheel drive because
Right.
I want to make a rally cross.
Yeah, then
RSX.
you would use the you would use the CRV.
Element ruins.
Not the element rear.
Oh, sorry.
CRV.
You want this? You want the CRV second and a
second-
half
second
gen?
gen,
Second
right.
and a half gen.
Yeah, so that's the
6.7. You want the
It's
0.67?
06 and 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it has some enhancements that help it hook up faster.
That didn't that earlier that the
The earlier ones didn't.
four
and
the
then
4 to 6 didn't
Yeah,
have. Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
So it's actually 5.5 to 6. I should have said.
Okay.
5.5 to 6. So that's what I want. That's what I want. In fact, there's one of those in the salvage yard. Maybe Sunday, if we're not working on your car, I'll go pluck that puppy.
I'll be out in the desert, so.
Or you could come
Maybe
to us
that-
in the desert and shoot stuff. It's gonna be like 75 for the high on Sunday.
I know it's gonna be so nice.
It's gonna be
Well,
lovely.
if you guys,
No.
how long are you gonna go
Question
shooting?
for you.
We're gonna day camp, so probably all day.
All day? Yeah, I could go in the morning and then I can go, or maybe I'll come later in the day. I'll go pull parts in the morning and then come and meet you guys.
Well, there's a question at the bottom for fast brakes. I can make those brackets. I don't sell them very often just because, you know, when I designed them for you years ago, the Porsche brackets, it just was one of those things that there were other calipers that came out, like the RL, that people, it was way easier to do that. The RLs were more common and they were,
I have like 3 sets of Porsche calipers.
yeah, I know, but
Okay.
anyway, so I can make them, you know,
There's
get a
more
hold
back there.
of me at fastbrakes.com and I can have a set made up for you. I'm not sure what they cost these days, but you know,
But he'll let you know.
somewhere around what the RLs cost, you know, under $200 for a pair typically,
That's not
so
bad.
somewhere around there.
Nice.
Cool.
I think
When you're making those, tell me, because I might ask you to make a set. for me.
Okay, well, that'd be easier to do it. I mean, obviously I could do it that way. The
Exactly.
machine shop likes it better. Oh,
Yeah,
speaking of that,
there's several.
did you get a hold of them? Machine shop?
Oh, it wasn't for me, it was for somebody else.
Somebody else, okay.
He needed,
Okay.
he needed some stuff fabbed up that needed to be centrally located stuff,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was just like, we don't have time.
Okay, yeah, they could definitely do that for
Yeah.
whoever it was.
well, not to try and end early, but I think Kim was supposed to get hold of
Yeah,
more
we're
news
good.
on
The
stress
dog
level.
needs to be fed.
Dogs.
She can only,
I gotta
well,
go.
you see,
I
if
gotta
you're
do
her
some
dog, I
work
need to bring my dog
still.
home.
Yeah, she's got a contact on.
So we're gonna call it an evening tonight. Thank you guys for joining us, really appreciate it. And we will be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday.
On Tuesday,
Keep an eye peeled for membership stuff, if you guys are interested in doing that. The membership stuff will probably be,
We're still gonna do regular lives too.
yeah, we'll still do regular lives, but we'd also, I think I'd like to do the member stuff weekly. So, and by weekly, I mean WEEKLY, not WEAKLY. Just saying.
yeah.
And Clayton, we do machine some of his stuff, so, well, we just do production stuff of stuff he sells a lot of. So,
Good seeing you, Clayton.
You know, the problem is,
Yeah,
like,
good seeing you.
I've got way more stuff than they can handle. I mean,
Yeah.
In terms of.
well,
They
With
just
our
do
own
the-
stuff.
they just do the
Yeah,
Honda
yeah,
stuff.
they got some.
We
I-
just do
I-
some of the Honda stuff.
Yeah, and I got, you know, 50 other things
Yeah.
to do, so, yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, we'll do more junkyard videos.
What are you doing?
We have 2 more, I think, coming, and then I'm gonna be videotaping Sunday when I go out, so we'll do that. Are you ready to go home? Are you ready to go?
Good
Bye now.
night.
Bye, guys. Yeah, like,